right, guys, I want a show of hands. Of course, we can't really show a show of hands unless we're listening to Rush. But how many people are happy that finally this season's just about over for Syracuse? Boy, this basketball team was just like the football team. Had a chance to really better their position, and then can you say,
Choke? Yes. That's exactly what Syracuse basketball did the last 4 games of the season. They had a couple times to really finish on the plus side of 500. But hey, this team showed they can't do that.
Well, first, Notre Dame, they had played with the Fighting Irish for a while, but then the Fighting Irish get the better of us. And then Duke, yeah. Boy, they showed how outclassed we were against the Blue Devils. And of course, we had 2 other chances to finish on the plus side of 500. We could have beaten North Carolina had Buddy Boeheim not taken that pass off of him out of bounds. Gone into overtime, and of course, we run out of gas. And of course, if the prices keep going higher, we are going to run out of gas. But let's get back to what we're focusing on. Yeah, against Miami, we had them by 18 points. 18 points. And with about a minute to go, we still had them by about 7 points. But can you say,
Choke? That's exactly what we did against Miami's full court press. We couldn't do it. We turned the ball over constantly. We wound up losing by 3. And for the first time in 52 years, since before I was born, guess what? We're below 500.
You gotta wonder now. People are gonna really start clamoring for Boeheim to retire. Do you think maybe he's lost a step? Well, some people might say no, some people might say yes. Maybe he's coasting. The only way you can coast is if you go to the Eastern Seaboard or go to the West or whatever. But we're 15 and 16 going into the ACC tournament. Our first round game is tomorrow against Virginia Tech. And if we beat Virginia Tech, guess who we got? Mike Krzyzewski in one of his last games as the coach, and Duke. Of course, his last game at Cameron Indoor Stadium, Duke loses to North Carolina. Why? Couldn't you win in your final go-around? Who knows? But who's glad that this season may be almost over? I'll tell you what, I am. You know what? We're probably going to see us hopefully beat Virginia Tech, but then get pounded by Duke. We showed how outclassed we were against Duke this year. But, Boeheim might want to continue us playing. If maybe not in the NIT, maybe the CBI or the CIT. Or I think is what it's called, the basketball tournament. That's what they call the collegeinsider.com tournament now. Who knows? Maybe you want to cue John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band if we accept an invitation to it. Living in the CIT. Why? 'Cause that's where we're going to play. Living in the CIT. Why? 'Cause that's where we're going to play. Who knows? Even if we do go to the CBI, which is over 4 days in Las Vegas, 5 days, I should say, in Las Vegas, or against a lot of mid-majors in the basketball tournament, I'll still follow it. But I don't know whether I really am going to be rooting hard. You know what? This has been a horrible season. You know what? If we decide to pack it in after next week, maybe it's for the better. But we'll see. Now I'm going to go from talking to a team that choked to a couple teams that kind of gave it their all. The Waterloo girls and the Mynderse boys. Mynderse boys, well, we got to the championship game, but we came up short again. Only this year, it wasn't a controversial call at the end of the game that ruined our chances. We had a pretty good run. especially beating Leroy in the semifinals. And we came up against Wellsville in the B2 finals. You know, I thought maybe that long ride from Wellsville up to Webster Schrader might have given the boys a little lag. But you know how those tough boys from Allegheny County can be. They gave quite a battle, and yes, they beat Mynderse 66-58. Well, you know, Mynderse gave it a pretty good whirl. You gotta congratulate them, because it seems as though once section tournament time comes, Mynderse always makes a little bit of a run, whether it's boys this year or the girls some years. Good effort by the Mynderse boys. You know what? There's always next year. We'll see if we can get a title next year and break through. But you know what? We're still behind the Waterloo girls. Congratulations to them, winning the women's B1 title. A pretty decisive win over Hornell after getting past a pesky bunch of Palmyra-Macedon girls. And speaking of Palmyra-Macedon, that's where the B play-in game is going to be, against another familiar foe, Mid-Lakes. But you know what Coach Mike, feel the breeze, and his bunch of ladies can do. They beat Mid-Lakes twice already this year. We'll see if they can do it again. Congratulations to Giovanna White Principio, named the MVP of the tournament. And congratulations to all the girls. And you know what? I'll be standing there when you come back, especially if you play on a night. I'll be standing there clapping for you, just like I did last Friday night. Especially when you took on Hornell, beat him again, maybe had some chili while you're at it too. And if you get past Mid-Lakes, you're going to play the Section 6 champions on Saturday. It could be either Eden or Lewiston Porter. Of course, you go to Eden, nice little place south of Buffalo, but there's no garden there, is there? I'm wondering if there's Adam and Eve there. And Lewiston Porter, pretty good school. You know, that's where Daryl Johnston went to school, one of the all-time great Syracuse players. But you know what? Neither one of yous hold a candle to Waterloo. Let's keep it going, Waterloo girls. You know I'm behind you. Let's keep it going and hopefully win the states. Now I'm going to talk about Calvin Ridley. You know, he took time off last year for his mental health, the star receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. But now, guess what? He's been suspended the entire 2022 season because guess what? Well, he took time off to get his mental health in order. He gambled. Big mistake. Yeah, you know what happened to others who gambled on NFL games? Look at Alex Karras. It took until last year for Mungo to be inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. And you know what, Ridley? I don't think you're going to get a candygram. And also, probably to me, the saddest story of somebody who gambled. Art Schleister was a great star in the late 70s for Ohio State at quarterback. They thought he was a surefire pro, surefire Hall of Famer. And when Baltimore drafted him, he looked like maybe he was the new answer. But guess what? His gambling addiction followed him into the NFL, and it ruined his career, ruined his life. Heck, he just spent a 10-year stint in federal prison for embezzling money so he can gamble. That's how bad it's gotten for Art Schleister. And you had the gall to post on Twitter, $1,500. I don't have a gambling problem. Boy, I wish I had that kind of money to gamble. You know, if I gamble 20, I'm lucky. Well, you know what? You gotta pay the piper, in a way, Ridley. You don't gamble like that. Look what has happened to Pete Rose. He gambled on games, and you know what? Cooperstown still won't let him into the Hall of Fame. And all he did for baseball, in my mind, he deserves it. But hey, they're going to hang that sword of Damocles over your head. Same way with you, Ridley. I think this might have cost you your career. Who knows? And last but not least, you hear about this big splash that supposedly the Pagulas are going to have. Well, Bean kind of said, hey, he's got to do a little thing here and there to keep the Bills under the salary cap, because you know what? We're right at the cap. We got to make some moves, especially maybe letting Cole Beasley. Beasley said he wants to be traded. Well, you know what? We might have to let him go. So you know what, Pagulas? What is this big splash? Hopefully it's not going to cause Buffalo to pay a mortgage, if you know what I mean. Hey, you don't want to do what the Rams have done. Yeah, they went all in. They got a Super Bowl title. But now look at the problems they're going to have trying to keep under the salary cap. We don't want to have that happen. So you know what, Pagulas? Let Bean be his smart and savvy ways. Don't throw everything on top of him. Don't be like a Jerry Jones who meddles in everything. Of course, if he meddles, is it silver, gold, platinum? We'll see. I'm Ken Haas, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.